going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth, and quick reminders that Goat Simulator and Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection are both being offered for free on PlayStation Plus this month, so make sure to download those, play those, come back at the end of the month for Plus Club. Let us know what we thought of those games. We'll let you know what we thought of them, and our game of the month randomly picked is Vindictus, which is a free-to-play action RPG where you run around with up to 3 other people, and you fight shit, you kill shit, and you get stuff. So make sure to play that. It's free to play, so you got nothing to lose. Only on PC, I believe. Make sure to play that. Come back at the end of the month for Game of the Month. We'll talk about that as well. We have Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all time. And we're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. So today's Tuesday. Before we get into the first bit of news, I just want to put out there and be transparent about something I've already talked about in the Discord a bit, but something that for me is kind of a big step because something that's been requested a couple times at this point, and for years now, that I've just thrown out the window. And I said I would do it at 1,000 subs, and I didn't do it then, so I guess closer to 1,500 subs is a better time to do it. We have started a Patreon for this channel. The reason I have done this is because I randomly get requests all the time by amazing people wanting to support this channel more so than commenting in the videos, liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, and viewing the videos, which is all I could ever ask for when it comes to what we do here. But people have insisted for years that they wanted to help with the channel when it comes to what we do here. And I've been very reluctant to accept donations from people because I'm not monetarily driven when it comes to creative things. So I never created this channel with the hope of making money from it, and I will not continue the channel with the hope of making money from it. But I understand that there's people who want to help support the channel in what we do. So, and people find ways to send me money through Snapchat. That's a whole different thing. Through Super Chats, through PayPal directly, and all that stuff. And it's all very much appreciated. Thank you, anybody who's done that. But I just want to be very, very clear. That is never the intention of what we do on this channel. I have no intentions with the Patreon pushing it in any way. I'll probably throw it into my intros in the videos just to let people know it's an option. There's a link down below if you want to go check it out. But I have no plans on putting anything behind a paywall because the content's here. This channel's about the community. That's why I do it. So everything stays the same. As for tiers, I don't have a plan for that. If you have an idea, if there's something you think is sounds like a good idea to you, let me know. I'm open to it. But I literally just made it so there's a standard place that when someone comes into a stream or comments and goes, "Hey, I want to fucking send you some kind of contribution, some kind of fucking support for the channel more so than this comment," I don't have to awkwardly go, "Oh, no, please, like, it's fine. Like, thank you, though. Like, I really appreciate that." I can just go, "Yeah, we have a Patreon. Like, if you want to do that, you can do that." So, like I said, I've been very reluctant to want to do this. Just because building this channel, building this community, and having that trust as a community is really important to me. So, like I said, this is an option. Nothing is expected from anybody. Nothing. And everything is appreciated. Anything. So, if you do feel so inclined, you love this channel so much, you're like, "I want to fucking send you 50 cents. Thank you. The gesture is very much appreciated. So, yeah. And then, just real quick, for transparency's sake, any money gained as the amount that we've made so far will go right back into the channel. Not pocketing it and doing some shit with it. It's all just going to accumulate, and whenever something comes up for this channel financially, I'll use that towards it. So, because that's all I can do. I'm not really hurting for money, so I'm not really looking to be gaining anything from people. but it's all appreciated. So I know people have been really pushing it for a while. So I just wanted to give you guys a definitive answer on how to do that if you want to do that. So it's an option. It's not expected. And yeah, thanks for even wanting to do that. And if you don't, it's fine. All I can ask you, I'm going to press this fucking issue though. Please comment, please like, and share if you feel so inclined. I'm not going to beg for that, but it helps. It all helps. And yeah, just having this community is the only thing I ever wanted. So I already got it, and it's growing, and it's awesome. I talk to awesome people all the time. So really appreciate all of you guys, the community, and this whole experience. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. Be transparent about that. If you have concerns, please let me know in the Discord, in the comments. If you don't like where that's going, even though it's not going anywhere, but if you don't like that option or something like that, you express your concerns to me, and I'll be open to it. So yeah, let's jump into the first bit of news. All right, so as everyone knows, there's a PS5 being made, and Sony has been slowly trickling out all these confirmations of that. I've not been a big fan of how they're handling this. I do have quite a bit of complaints on it, honestly, but we're slowly just kind of finding out about this thing through leaks, through random confirmations and conversations about what's inside this thing that hasn't been officially announced yet, to now finally a logo that you would pretty much expect how it looks. So jumping into GameSpot's article, Sony unveils PS5 logo, and it's not surprising, no shit. They showed the logo off, which looks very much like a PlayStation logo. Although it is interesting to finally have that confirmation. So they say Sony's CES 2020 briefing brought with it some PlayStation 5 news, though it wasn't much. Sony's Jim Ryan appeared on stage to share some impressive stats regarding the PS4 and reveal the PlayStation 5 logo. Here it is. It looks like a PlayStation 5 logo. It's a very sleek 5. Ryan also spoke briefly about some of the features of the PlayStation 5, including 3D audio, sound, adaptive triggers for the new controller, a faster SSD to improve loading times, as well as ray tracing and an Ultra HD Blu-ray drive. All these features were already announced. Agreed. GameSpot. Ryan concluded his segment by saying further specifics about the PlayStation 5, including the game lineup and other features, will be announced at a later date. So later this year, probably. If history is any indication, Sony may share more PlayStation 5 news soon. As you may remember, Sony officially announced the PlayStation 4 back in February 2013. Ooh, okay, that's getting me a little pumped. 1 month after CES that year. Holy shit. Okay, so we might begin some big stuff here soon. The PlayStation 5 launches in holiday 2020 alongside Microsoft's own next-generation console, Xbox Series X. Keep checking back with GameSpot. I'm not. I might come back. I don't know. God, this year is going to suck. Holy shit, financially. Because I plan on buying both these consoles. And then beyond the brief amount of PS5 talk, Ryan also shared some facts regarding the performance of Sony's current gen console, including that it's now sold 106 million PS4s worldwide. The other day, me and Josh were talking about that, and he was saying he thought it was like at 90. I'm like, I think it's above that now. 106 million consoles sold. That's fucking wild. Yeah. So we got the logo, which is this. I can't say I'm a fan or not a fan of it. They have a brand, they have a look, and that's it. So I'm glad nothing weird has popped up or something that could come out and I can go, ooh, don't like the way that looks. But at the same time too, maybe something different would be kind of cool. But I'm not going to complain about that. Like, don't fix what's not broken. So just what I expected already. God. Every time I'm on these websites, man, stop playing these fucking videos. I just paused that. And then they confirmed all the things we already know. I'm not going to go through all the details. We've covered this already. So I'm just really unhappy with the way the PS5 is being unveiled. I'm going to be super fucking excited once it gets revealed finally. But this whole like slow trickle of information is so like unceremonious. It's just so fucking boring. There's no excitement to it. There's no build. I think Xbox is doing a way better job in keeping things quiet and then revealing randomly at the Game Awards their console. I mean, like, there's surprises there. So I'm really hoping for that from Sony. A couple things also I want to cover as well is apparently the controller has been leaked. Somebody who is cleaning a place that has a dev kit for the PS5 jokingly said that he occasionally cleans the PS5 as well, the dev kit, and he took a picture of the controller as well. So let's take a look at that real quick. A lot of the prototype pictures that have been leaked for this look almost identical to this controller. And if you've seen those, I believe there's no light bar. It's USB-C. And I think this has paddles. I keep reading that off and on everywhere, so we'll see. But there's no confirmation here. But if I were to say my opinion on this, I think that's real. I would guarantee it. That dev kit at this point is pretty much guaranteed to be the actual dev kit of the PS5. It's everywhere. There's pictures of it, drawn pictures, prototype pictures. That thing's been leaked everywhere. And that controller is plugged into it, so I don't think someone mocked that up. A couple things I'm noticing there is the touchpad looks bigger, which I actually like, because I think the touchpad was a really smart idea. I like that it adds buttons to the controller. I think it's a genius thing. And then the outside of the controller and the handles, or the grips, look more ergonomic and robust. I said it not in a way that some people will interpret the wrong way, because people in the console war are going to go, this one's better, that one's better. It reminds me of how Microsoft has a philosophy when it comes to their controllers of being super ergonomic. Xbox has had some of the best controllers ever made. They feel great in the hand. I don't like the sticks on the Xbox One, but everything else on it is fucking fantastic. But this looks like it's slowly departing from the original PlayStation's design. Even the PS4 controller, if you compare it to the PS3 controller, is a huge difference. But they essentially just made the grips fatter. Whereas this looks like it's starting to curve out a bit more. It looks like they're angled a bit more. So it looks like it's going to be a lot more comfy in the hand, which I'm all about. I really like the design. I think it looks good. It's really subtle but noticeable. I think this is the most noticeable change to the PlayStation controller in a long time. And like I said, and I think I said this in the prototype photos and mock-up like drawings and stuff like that, there's no light bar, which I'm very happy with, because it was an interesting thing to try. They completely failed. And you know, most people who watch the channel know I play my PlayStation a lot, but that's one thing that I'm like, I see what you're going for, but it just did not work. I can't make excuses for it. So yeah. And then one thing I want to share real quick before we move on to the next bit of news is, for people who are worried about the PS5 looking like that, there's a small chance it possibly could look like that. But I've been saying it since I very first saw it. I know a lot of you agree with me on this. Dev kits are never the final product. If you're a dork like me and you're always looking at like the early model of a console before it came out, and just to see how crazy different it looks from the final product, they almost never look like the dev kit. So in case you might have forgot, or you just didn't pay attention, or you didn't care at the time, this is the PS4 dev kit. It's obviously not what the PS4 looks like. So that controller is kind of similar. I mean, it's pretty similar, but if you look at the light bar, it's completely different. The fucking triggers and the R1 and L1 look completely different, but there's some similarities there. It's less circular. It's very angular. So, and then the console itself is essentially a PC tower. It's just got all the things in there that's going to be able to run PS4 hardware or software. So it just serves the purpose of, for devs to go, oh, hey, I'm working on a game. Will it run on the PS4? Will it run on the PS5? I think they just had fun with this dev kit because it's 5, so they got that V shape and shit. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on the whole shebang. I like the controller. I think that is the real controller. I'd put money on it. I'd be very surprised if it's not. And the logo looks expected to me. So let me know in the comments what do you guys think about the PS5 logo. What do you think about the slow trickle reveal of the PS5? What do you think about it compared to how Xbox is handling their reveal of the new Xbox console? Are you picking up the PS5, the Xbox One, Series X, or are you picking up both like me? Are you that kind of person? Or that kind of fucking willingness to just throw your money somewhere? Yeah, let me know your general comments in the comments below. Alright, second bit of news is a little bit of Respawn CEO news. AKA Vince Zampella, or ex-CEO that might be. Respawn CEO takes over DICE LA, plans a studio name change, unannounced games. Via IGN, Respawn Entertainment CEO and co-founder will soon be taking on a new role under the EA umbrella as head of DICE LA. The change will happen in 2020, and Zampella says a studio name change and unannounced game are already in the cards. In quotes, it says, under Zampella, there are plans to expand and launch an original as yet unrevealed game. The LA Times reports the company will remain separate from Respawn, and Zampella says likely will drop the DICE name. Very smart. It's unknown at this time that DICE LA will be renamed as. The studio has often served as a support studio for DICE in Stockholm, Sweden, where the company was originally founded. Zampella says that with the new studio name, he wants to give the developer a new image. We want people to say, this is a destination you go and make new content. As for Respawn, Zampella is still head of the studio. However, the different branches of Respawn are being overseen by different members of a leadership team. Stig Asmussen, director of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, will oversee the narrative-driven branch. Apex Legends will be overseen by Chad Grenier. It's the Grenier. And Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, the new VR game, is being overseen by Peter Hirschman. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, the VR game. How'd I fucking miss that one? Is that a thing? Respawn's making that? What? I don't get it. Okay, let me know in the comments you know more about that. I'm not going to look into it right now. Respawn had a banner year in 2019. In February, the company surprise released the Battle Royale shooter Apex Legends to critical acclaim. I liked it. The studio then followed that up by releasing the single-player Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order in November, which I've never heard a bad thing about. Somebody said it was buggy. I think it was one person said that. Was it Josh? Somebody said that, and fucking, I'm just name dropping people. And I was like, I have not heard anything about that. But other than that, it's been, I've heard nothing but great things about the game. I still need to play it. Like Apex Legends, Jedi Fallen Order was well received. It was also the second best-selling game of November according to MPD Group. You can read. Nope. I can't read, obviously. Yeah, so this is actually really fucking big news and kind of interesting because this tells more about EA than it does about Respawn. We all know at this point Respawn's been doing really well in 2019, or did really well, and we talk about it a lot on the channel. I'm a fan of Vince Zampella. I'm a fan of everything he's done for gaming in general. He's actually he's well known enough, but I don't think he gets still enough credit for how much he's impacted all of gaming. To some people, maybe negatively, but for me, positively. What this signifies to me is that Respawn is not only successful, but it's also one of the only companies under EA that I think is being well received as a company. Now, they've had some good games. I'm sure you're thinking, well, I like Need for Speed, I like all this stuff. All those companies are still, when they release something, people are like, it's EA though. It's EA. That's a big thing that comes up in conversations. Is people go, it's EA though. So like, what are they going to do that's going to fuck me over? I'm not hearing that conversation when it comes to Respawn. So between the success of that company, the vision of Vince Zampella, and the reputation of the company, it only makes sense to start moving him somewhere else. This concerns me a little bit, although it does say that he's still the lead of Respawn. I read another article saying that he's essentially going to be a coach for them, which is good. It reminds me of being like a producer for a movie. That he's still going to be around to kind of lead Respawn Damn, this fucking Wendy's commercial. Um, fucking pay me, Wendy's. Anyway, he's gonna be a coach, which is good. It's kind of like being a producer in a movie, but him moving on to a different company is good for them. But it worries me about Respawn because they're doing so good right now that if he is responsible for the success of that company, vision wise, I hope it's not too distracting for him to do that and maintain Respawn as a company. I don't want somebody doing so well that it eventually takes away from what they did well in the first place. AKA fucking Paragon getting shut down because Fortnite did so good that they can't even fathom working on Paragon anymore because it just doesn't compare. Same thing with this. I would hate to see him go over there, start working on that, and we lose out on potential Titanfalls in the future or something like that. You guys know what I'm saying. But this is exciting because Vincent Pell's spreading that seed. He's getting around EA, and we might see some change that we want to see in EA. This is really important because everybody's enjoying what Respawn's doing. If he can now go over to DICE LA and rename it, which I think is smart. Nobody's stoked about DICE LA as a company. In fact, DICE has kind of been hit hard since multiple other games now have not been well received. I know Battlefront 2 is slowly gaining attention again, and Battlefield 5 has its community, but as for like on a hype level, it's dead. Like no one's talking about it. So DICE as a name doesn't have the same kind of weight it used to have. It's also connected with Frostbite. A lot of people get pissed about that engine. So renaming the whole company is very smart. It's a good strategy. Hopefully he makes it something exciting. You know, Respawn. It makes sense. It's a good name. It's easy to remember. He'll do the same with DICE LA. I like the idea that they're rebranding. They're making a new game, something new and exciting from EA. Very cool. His mind's in the right place. I don't think he's going to do anything to make a game that's just trying to leech money out of people. And yeah, I honestly can't wait to see what he does with DICE LA, what he renames it, what game they're going to be working on, and what they do under his leadership. I think are really good things. If we get more good things out of EA, he could slowly transform that company, which they need. And I've been jokingly saying it'd be funny if one day Vince Zampella was just like the CEO of EA, because they got to get that other guy out of there. That guy fucking sucks. He's a smug piece of shit that famously said, people don't want multiplayer games. We don't work on, or people don't want single player games. They only want multiplayer games. So they, or at least, you know, online content, games as a service model stuff. And because of that philosophy, EA has continued making the games that they make and making the decisions that they make. So getting a new CEO in there would be really cool. And it'd just be funny with his success under the EA umbrella if he moved up his way to that point. But I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just think it'd be funny if it did happen, because he's an innovator. Vince Zampella is a really, really sharp dude, and doesn't have a track record of preying on his consumers. So really something that EA needs, and this is all good thing. But to surmise all the things that I'm saying, I'm slightly worried about his less hands-on part of Respawn, but I'm excited to see what he does with DICE LA. And hopefully his influence spreading through EA will make EA a company that is far less hated than it is now. But let me know in the comments what do you guys think about Vince Zampella moving over to DICE LA and essentially changing it to something else. What do you think about his influence at Respawn? Do you think it's going to change the way Respawn does what they do, or do you think it's going to stay the same? Do you want another Titanfall? Do you want something else from Respawn? What do you want from DICE LA? And yeah, what's your general comments about everything? Let me know in the comments below. All right, last bit of news is a reaction. I haven't done one of those in a little bit. To Disintegration hands-on preview via IGN. Disintegration is a game that is being made by one of the co-creators of Halo, so I've had a little bit of hype towards it just based off of that. It was teased a little bit before. I think it was shown at Gamescom a little bit, and shown before that, I think at E3 or something, where it showed like a ship a little bit, and then in the Gamescom teaser they showed a dude flying on a fucking vehicle with other people on the ground running around, and I was talking about how it almost looks like it's gonna be like a tactical game. So anyway, we actually have gameplay now. There might have been gameplay before, I haven't seen it, so this will be all fresh for me, but I believe IGN will be talking about their hands-on impressions, or at least what this game's all about. So we'll get some info, see some gameplay. I'm going to react to it, and I'll talk about it afterwards. But this is a game I'm very interested in. It looks like a concept that might be less explored right now in gaming. And I like that. And I like that this dude comes from Halo. I've been wondering where all the minds of Halo have been, because a lot of them obviously went to Destiny. But yeah, just the spark that was Halo has been gone. I really need a new Halo. 343, do something, because fucking 5 didn't do it for me. But I digress. Let's just jump into this, and we'll talk about it. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, he is flying, okay. I thought he was in a mech for a second. Pretty much the same thing, just you can go up and down.
At first glance, Disintegration looks like a whole lot of ingredients from different genres stylishly mashed together. One part futuristic first-person shooter, one part action-focused airship piloting, a heavy dose of strategy elements like troop commands, ability combos, and cooldown.
I already like it.
It can seem like a lot.
This is literally, I'm glad that teaser kind of
That's what Disintegration is.
put this across, because what I thought.
You'd think those elements might clash. Precision gunplay, frantic aerial dodging, the careful issuing of orders from on high.
It looks decent.
But all those pieces, somehow, working harmoniously is what supports V1 Interactive's grand design. Going into it, I had reservations. How do you pilot a flying grav cycle on 3 axes, command a squad of troops and manage their abilities, and still find the free time to gun down your robotic enemies? 5 minutes after putting my hands on the controller, before I'd even finished the tutorial, really, I hit that moment where everything just clicked. And while I blasted through
It's
each
not that
engagement,
complex of a
managing my
concept,
gun triggers
though.
while marking targets for my squad, while whipping sweet boosted hairpin flanks, while lobbing healing orbs and calling in artillery barrages.
I know he's trying to like let you know that it's not as scary as it looks. This concept, how are you going to do this? And then he's like, oh, it works great, which is a great endorsement for the game. I'm happy to hear that. But there's already been third-person shooters where you're running around with a gun and then you're telling your team where to go and stuff. The idea of flying only would make that task easier for me, because it's more like an RTS at this point where you're shooting things. So, which I think sounds fucking awesome. I mean, this looks neat.
Dawned on me, Disintegration just works. And more than that, it's a hell of a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I'm interested in this. I like RTSs, I like strategy, I like tactic
While
games.
I can't talk too much
I
about
like
V1
FPSs.
Interactive's story, here are the very loose basics. Disintegration takes place over a century in the future, where war, famine, and a plague-like outbreak have driven humanity to the verge of collapse. To survive, humans discover a stopgap measure, a process they call integration, whereby they literally transplant their brains and beings into robotic armatures to survive until a cure is found. Now everything's looking up, but not everyone wants to eventually go back to being an organic human, a natural, as they're called. In the wake of this global shift to integration, a militarized regime of integrated called the Rayon emerged.
Disintegration, by the way, is one of the best albums ever.
Roaming the world in their city-sized
Real
ships
talk.
called Iron Clouds, hunting for humans or free-thinking integrated known as outlaws to capture and conscript. Those who won't be conscripted resist, a civil war breaks out all over the world, and that's where we pick up. We play as Romer Scholl, a grav cycle pilot and
he looks like a
de facto
Romer
leader
Scholl.
of a group of free-thinking outlaws in the smoldering husk of North America, looking to rescue and rebuild some semblance of the resistance while dodging the relentless pursuit of the Rayon. But the crux of Disintegration is the grav cycle. These single-seat vehicles that hover in the sky and spit shells from twin Gatling guns or pound round after
Gatling
round of
guns.
explosive-tipped
I mean,
heavy
is that
ordnance
Gatling
and
guns?
endless
Gatling
menagerie of
guns?
robotic enemies. The grab cycle is only part of your arsenal. Using
That thing's
your bird's eye
incorrect.
view,
That's just
you'll command
interesting.
your up to
Gatling
4-person
guns?
squad. Everything from assigning them locations to move to, which targets to focus on, and when and where to use their abilities. And while all that may sound overwhelming, it's all intuitively done with the press of a button.
Doesn't
Makes
sound overwhelming
Disintegration
at all.
feel so good to play. These squad companions that are unlocked throughout the campaign come loaded for bear with stun-inducing concussion grenades, salvos of artillery, seismic.
Because I'm
AoE
assuming your
ground
triggers
pound,
are
and much
shooting
more.
anyway,
They all combo
and then
together
your
in
fucking
some
shoulder
way,
buttons might be your
along with your
special
weapons
moves, and then your
for
fucking
damage,
face
which
buttons
gives you the
are
opportunity
probably
to feel
like,
like a tactical
go there,
genius when you
hold
execute the
here,
perfect stun
stay,
artillery combo
fucking
against a horde of
assault,
mindless robotic
stealth,
zealots,
I don't know
or get off a
what they'd be,
crucial,
or maybe hold
vital,
L1
necessary
and
stun
have
against
more
a
or something, I don't know, but it's not
building-sized,
that big a deal.
plasma-spewing tank monstrosity seconds before it deletes you from existence. Your troops
Although
are
IGN's the same people who are
vital
like, too
because
much water in this
Disintegration
game, that's
is
going to lower the
not what
review.
I would call easy. It's easy to get overwhelmed, but that's what's really refreshing about my time playing Disintegration.
Game's too hard.
It's not just about
Lower
reaction
that
time,
score.
it's about decision making and efficiency. How best to spend each second, 1 second at a time. But there are many seconds to be had between the checkpoints of each long story mission. Both missions I played had me salvaging scrap for repairs and upgrades at the start. But things always seem to go sideways at some point, and I'd find myself defending enclaves of outlaws. Each mission unfolds with subplots, off-the-path exploration, secondary objectives, scripted counterattacks, and a constantly growing bestiary of mechanical rayon enemy types that hurl techno-wizardry with excellently throbbing sci-fi sound design.
That was a ridiculous sentence.
And between the unyielding shooting, commanding, prioritizing, and just trying to survive each mission, there's time for reflection where you get to know the cast of characters,
Were you two having a moment?
who are humanized with unique visual touches and some top-notch emotive voice acting.
Oh yeah, I found myself an upgrade chip.
Or you can pick up challenges or just ingest some of the fleshed out.
Oh
lore and world.
yeah.
But before long, you're on to the next pressing mission, leveling up your grav cycle with salvage materials and trying to survive another frantic engagement in the long shadows cast by the rayon. Once you get started, there's always something you could and probably should be doing at any given second. And I love that feeling. There's so much more Disintegration.
It's interesting
to
how
dive
he's
into.
always flying,
For
but
my
then
extended
earlier he's
thoughts,
like on
you
the
can check out
ground,
my
so I wonder
full
what's up
written
with that.
impressions on IGN.com, and be sure to stay tuned all month long as we dive more into the story elements. We reveal full gameplay missions and deep dive into Disintegration's awesome multiplayer suite to get you ready for an eventual beta. We're covering
Multiplayer.
Disintegration all month long as part
That'd
of
be
IGN
interesting.
First, so for more of this and everything else, keep it right here on IGN.
It'd be kind of cool too if there's a co-op mode where people could play those guys down there. Although that would take a lot away from the gameplay of the person. No HBO stop. Everything's a fucking ad. Jesus Christ, what a world we live in. I'm actually pretty into that. I'm pretty into what I just saw. I'm glad to be able to say that. Let's see. It just works. Anyway, sorry, I got fucking distracted. I like the concept. I like the idea of being a shooter, a tactical game, kind of an RTS. It's a new, like, fresh feeling idea. Maybe another game has done this. Maybe an indie game. I don't know. I haven't played it. But let me know in the comments if you know that game. But I really enjoy games like this. I mean, I even used to play like, oh god, what was it called? Something Full Spectrum Warrior, which was like on the Xbox. But it was like, you control like 3 soldiers and you like told them where to go and take cover and stuff like that. And, Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon, all those kind of games. I always like playing games where you have to tell people where to go and what to do. So meshing that with a flying shooter is a really cool idea. Graphically, I think it looked pretty decent. I think the design looks really good. I like that there's like a robot dude and some people, and then you're also flying, so it has like imagination, which is really cool. This is definitely a game that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. Watching that, if that game was out right now, I'd go buy it right now. So that is my endorsement to what I saw so far. If it comes out and people are like, this game's fucking trash, I'll be like, oh man, maybe I'll wait for it to go on sale. But I like what I saw. It looks really fucking cool. In a time where everybody is just kind of making a lot of the same stuff, making battle royales, hero shooters. I was gonna say MMOs, but people don't really make those anymore. That kind of went or came and gone. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. With a lot of the same kind of stuff coming out over and over again, it's nice to see somebody go, you know what? I want to make something different, and they're doing it, and I fucking applaud that. I always applaud that, and I'm excited to check it out. Once we get more info on it, once we can see more stuff on it, and possibly pick it up when it comes out. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think of Disintegration's preview. Does it interest you? Does it not interest you? Is it something that you could see yourself playing, you're curious about, or you're seeing that and you're like, that doesn't look fucking interesting to me at all. I'm not going to fly around and tell people what to fucking do. Yeah, what do you hope they do with that? What do you want from the multiplayer? I'd like to see maybe possibly like a 1v1 or multiple people versus thing where you're shooting at each other but also telling people to do stuff but have objectives towards the other team. That'd be kind of neat to see. Or some kind of co-op. That'd be really neat to see. But, you know, I'm not the developer. I'm not making that fucking game. I don't got the ideas. But yeah. And that's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook, and TikTok at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out my streams, links down below. You can watch them on Mixer, Twitch, or YouTube. I've done 2 streams recently, so this is kind of how I go, as everyone knows at this point. I do some streams, I go away for a little bit. I do some streams, I go away for a little bit. Well, right now, I've been doing some streams, so if you want to catch me in a stream, talk with me, hang out with me, watch me play some games, definitely go check those out. We have a Discord, link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us in audio form. And yeah, until the next episode, which at the very least will be Tasty Cast, but I have a couple other things I have on my mind recently. But yeah, until then, my name's Seth, and have a good week, guys, and take it easy.